and in today's video, I want to be discussing with you how to stop jacking off, right? So if you're a man watching this and you have problem stopping your fapping habits, then this video is going to be the video for you. Now, why is this important? Because if you constantly bust your nut, your most precious essence, your most precious life force, your most precious jing, you'll never feel the vigor and vitality that men were born and destined to feel, all right? If you always let that seed, that essence of your masculinity bleed out from the bottom of you or from your genitals, you'll never feel that aggression, that power that men have and that only men have, okay? Think about all the great kings, warriors, I'm going to say magicians and lovers, right, in the past, just flows. Think about all the great men that existed in the past. They have raw masculinity, and that comes from their essence, right? That comes from their essence. That doesn't come from being a female. It comes from their testosterone, their hormones, right? Their power. And if you keep busting your nut, if you keep blowing your load, you won't be able to tap into this power, okay? So, in today's video, I'm going to share with you 8 things. A lot of it is the mindset that you need to have and perspectives that you need to see things in so that you can finally break free of this habit. Because if you don't adopt the mindset that busting your nut, beating your meat constantly is having a detrimental effect on your life and it's ruining your health, then you will never make that shift that you need to make to become the man that you know you can be, right? Often we turn to jacking off, masturbating, watching pornography as a way to fulfill ourselves, right? To feel that satisfaction. But that satisfaction that we're looking for actually comes from becoming a disciplined man and comes from doing things that actually matter in this world, not watching illusions online and feeling as if you achieve something by blowing a load to a pixelated, capsulated version of a female, okay? Even though she might be real, busting a nut, having an orgasm, ejaculating to someone else having sex, that is not going to provide you long-term satisfaction. And if anything, will only cause you to go deeper down the dark hole of poor me, woe is me, I'm shitty, right? I suck, I'm a weak human being, and I can't get anything done in life, okay? Dark, depressing, full of crap. So let me share with you these 8 things that helped me, or at least the mindset that I have now, that to stop masturbating, okay? I've been on semen retention, or restarted my semen retention for about 4 months now. So the longest I've done it was 13 months, and then I reset, and then I did it for 11 months, and then I had ayahuasca, and then I reset, and then now I'm back on it for the 3rd time, which is 4 months, and I think this time, each time I do it, it's going to be longer and longer. I stopped it for whatever reason in the past after ayahuasca, if you want to watch that video. But I feel like this time, I don't want to say this time because, maybe I might meet a girl and I might want to stop, or I might, because I don't plan on holding too long if I'm having sex with a girl, but we'll see. That's a different detour within itself. I want to give you guys the substance so that you can take control of your life. Otherwise, you can go on a rant. So I got some notes taken down here. I'm going to read to you point by point. Let's get it. Let's go. Okay, so number 1. The first thing you need to know and realize when it comes down to stopping your masturbating habits, your excessive fapping, right, is this. The cheapest pleasures are often the most expensive. Now, what do I mean by this, okay? I want you to really think about all the things that provide you instant gratification. This doesn't just have to be from porn, ejaculation, masturbating. It doesn't just have to be from these 3. It could also be from eating junk food, right? Watching stupid videos online that provide absolutely no return on your investment, no return on your energy invested. It could be hooking up with random people. It could be anything that provides you a short-term spike in pleasure, but down the line leads to long-term pain, right? What do I mean? You could sit on your couch and just watch Netflix videos for 5 hours straight. You could just sit on your couch and eat potato chips. You could just do anything that causes you to have a strong flood of emotions up front. But all of these cheap pleasures that you do in the front end usually always leads to what? Long-term pain. Now, why is this the case? Because the law of duality, the yin and the yang, the law of polarity, these things are inseparable. You cannot have pleasure without pain, and you cannot have pain without pleasure. When you understand this fundamental law of reality, you will think twice before you make an action. Now, sometimes it's going to be hard, but you get the idea. Once you embed that into your subconscious, when you embed that into the fabric of your being, the more often you make this mistake, the more you remember it because of this. Think about this. How do you feel after you ejaculate, right? How do you feel before you decide to jerk off? And then how do you feel afterwards? You need to remember this, okay? This is how I started to conquer constant jerking off, okay? In the beginning, or before you whack off, you get this intense, pleasure. You're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through Facebook, or you're scrolling through some videos on YouTube. You see a beautiful girl, or you see something, hear something, think of something that causes you to have a triggering thought that causes you to have arousal in this area, and you get suddenly overwhelmed with the dragon of sexual impulse, sexual desire, right? You're instantly flooded with this strong, powerful desire to fornicate, right? With either someone else or yourself. Now that will spur you into action. You will either try to find someone to have sex with, right? Which many guys will do. And I'm a victim of this in the past, and maybe still now if you put a beautiful girl in front of me. But what I'm trying to say is that strong impulse, that desire, right? That desire to experience more of life, Napoleon Hill calls as one of the strongest human desires, strongest forces of human desire that will spur you into action. It's like a cyclone it's a hurricane of just powerful moving energy, because that's life wanting to express itself. That's life wanting to create more of itself. That's creative, right? Sexual energy. When you don't learn how to harness this, you'll instantly get triggered as you're browsing online, and that will lead you to bust a nut. But what I was trying to say with point number one, taking too long to elaborate with what I'm trying to say, is think about how you feel before that, right? You have this strong, intense, fiery desire, and then as soon as you engage in the sexual behavior, here's the boundary, right? Before, after. This looks like a penis, right? Balls. But you get what I'm trying to say. Before you engage in this activity, you feel very fired up. After you engage in the activity, this is the activity. Actually, after you stroke it, after you engage in the activity, you release and you extinguish your fire. Now, this fire as a man is your passion. It's your oomph, right? It's your raw aggression. It's your desire to get things done. It's your desire to fuck, right? If you keep burning out this fire, this desire, what power do you have as a man, right? And that's one of the points we'll be discussing next, or lower down in the list. If you keep wasting your sexual energy, if you keep burning your sexual energy, think of your chakras as levels, okay? Right? Root chakra is the basic survival level, okay? Level 1, basic survival, basic necessities, shelter, water, food, etc. Level 2, sexual desire, right? Sexual organs. People usually are stuck at level 2 or level 3. In level 2, if all you're doing is blowing your load and wasting your energy, you're always going to be stuck in these lower energy chakras, and you'll never be able to ascend above that because you're constantly chasing cheap pleasures, right? The third one up is your willpower. If you're willing yourself to do stupid things, then you keep wasting your energy on this stuff, right? And if you keep wasting your energy, which leads me to number 2, your finite life force, right? You are literally killing yourself, okay? Your semen, your sexual energy, right? Your jing is your most precious asset. When you don't have any more jing, any more prana, right? Any more life force, you're dead, right? Think of the sand timer. Each time that sand drops, right? That's your life force, right? That could be just in the form of energy. That can be in the form of your breath. That can be in the form of digesting food. Your body has finite amount of energy. And when you use it all, it dissipates. Your body dissipates. You evaporate into the I was going to say ethosphere. That's not the right word I'm looking for. But you get what I'm trying to say. It evaporates back into the ether, right? Evaporates back into ether, and your spirit leaves the body, and you're dead. And you either have to repeat the lesson of life, or you get reincarnated into a shittier position because you made the wrong decisions. Okay. So number 2 is you're wasting your finite life force. Okay. Remember that each time you jack off and you blow your seed, that seed has the potential to create a newborn baby, and you're wasting it. You're wasting it. You're wasting your life force, and you're getting nothing back in return other than a 30-second pleasure, if that. Okay. So number 3, if you want to stay weak and effeminate, keep beating your meat. All right. Now, when I say this, there's a part of me that has a bit of conflict. Okay. Meaning when I say you're weak and effeminate, I think many men can relate to this, right? I myself consider myself a nice guy. If you meet me down the street, you know, I'm a nice guy. And sometimes that makes me feel weak and effeminate. But through doing semen retention, through doing NoFap, I have much stronger boundaries. So when I sense that people are encroaching my boundaries or, you know, pushing my buttons, that nice guy can turn into a very stern, serious, and powerful front. Because I do my best to hold a nice composure until people take advantage of that. The problem with nice guys, most nice guys in my experience, is they're nice all the way around, and they don't know when to set boundaries or enforce their boundaries because they don't have the vigor and vitality to say no or to speak up when the time is right. And that comes from having vigor and vitality. What is vigor and vitality? Well, that is your masculine essence. Your masculine essence is what allows you to have that oomph. And if you don't have that oomph because you keep busting your nut, then guess what? You're not going to have that aggression necessary to stand up for yourself. So if you want to keep being a little bitch, right? And you want to be weak and effeminate, then keep beating your meat. Okay. That's number 3. Number 4, which kind of ties into number 3. Constantly ejaculating will prevent you from becoming the best man that you can be, right? Think about it. What determines how beautiful, how fully bloomed a flower is? What determines how juicy and plump a fruit is? What determines how vibrant a baby is, right? All of this is the essence, the life force that exists within the flower, that exists within the baby, that exists within the tree, right? Whatever it is that we're looking at, the constituents of that object, be it a flower, a tree, a plant, a kid, right? How vital and vigor the kid is, how much life force he has, right? How much he's bouncing around, how hyper he is. All of that is dependent upon his life force. The constituents of a man is his masculine essence. It's his life force. If you don't have enough life force, you won't have that, again, vigor and vitality, that exuberance, that oomph that will make you the man that you know you can be, right? If you're always depleted, if you're always drained of your jing, how can you become the best version of yourself, right? We all want to be the best version of ourselves. We all want to be that alpha male. And in my opinion, being an alpha is simply being the best version of yourself. Because if you look at Martin Luther King, if you're looking at Gandhi, if you're looking at all the leaders of the world, not all of them are macho masculine men. No, they're just basically being the best version of themselves. And to be an alpha is to be the alpha of your own life, right? To command respect from others, and most importantly from yourself, to command ownership of yourself. Because when you can own and command respect of yourself, then you can own and command respect from other people, right? Because people will reflect the energy that you embody. And if you're embodying weak, impotent energy, then people will only treat you as such, okay? Number 5, how about having sex with a real girl, okay? One of my motivations of getting into NoFap and getting into semen retention was so that I could actually finally get a girlfriend. And that happened, right? Semen retention will undoubtedly attract girls into your life. They may not necessarily be the highest quality of girls, but they'll be definitely better than having no girls at all, okay? And if you've never had a girlfriend before, or if you have had a girlfriend before, but you haven't had a high quality girlfriend before, getting into NoFap, getting into semen retention, stopping your constant ejaculation cycles, that will put you on track to getting a real girl to have sex with. And having a girl to have sex with, in my opinion, is much better than watching porn all the time. Why is that? Because you can actually connect with someone. But if you're just using that person as a human masturbation tool, then you might want to rethink your intentions of why you're getting into NoFap or semen retention. Because semen retention can have a lot of spiritual benefits, as well as physical benefits, as well as emotional benefits. But you really want to check yourself when you're doing NoFap and semen retention. In the beginning, that might be a good motivational factor, but long term, after you realize having sex with women isn't the end all be all, because that in itself can drain your energy. And if she's not giving anything back in return, or she isn't anything of substance, what is substance? Essence. If she doesn't have any substance, if she doesn't have any life force, if she's just an airhead or a bimbo, then you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, and you're wasting your money, okay? These girls are just energy vampires, right? If they don't provide you a good return on your energy invested, then chances are you're just looking for another cheap pleasure, and you need to find something better to do with your life and not waste so much time with pursuing girls who don't give you much return, okay? But yes, number 5 is, why would you want to masturbate when you can take that energy, stop masturbating, and attract a real girl who is willing to go down on you? You know what I'm saying? Or is DTF. Okay, number 6. Transmute your sexual energy, okay? The reason why most men can't stop jacking off is because their energy is stuck down here. Their energy is stuck at the lower levels of being. It's the lower energy chakras, the lower energy centers, right? The root, sacral, and solar plexus. If your energy centers are stuck down here, you will live according to what these lower 3 chakras want, right? We all know the gut is the brain, right? The gut is the second brain, right? It's a brain in itself. The dantian, right? Our solar plexus are energy centers. If most of your energy centers is stuck down here, the impulses, thoughts, desires that you have are going to reflect the energy that is stuck down here. And if it's chaotic, negative energy, you are going to act as so. So in order for you to transmute that energy, first you need to clean up that energy, right? Through your diet, through moving properly, through your breath work, through your breath, right? Breathing practices. All of these are going to help circulate, help clean, and really allow the energy to move fluidly so that you don't get coagulation down there and get strong impulses to jack off. And here's a shameless plug for my program, Sexual Manifestation. You can read the free version, but essentially I teach 6 fundamentals to properly transmuting your sexual energy, cultivating your sexual energy, circulating your sexual energy, and really becoming the best man that you can be, right? I share how to do breath work. I share how to eat properly for vigor and vitality, for good skin, for attractive energy, because attractive energy just doesn't come just purely from doing semen retention. A lot of it comes from nutrition. You know, a lot of it comes from sleeping well. A lot of it comes from moving your body well, right? Knowing how to do resistance training to get those hormones going, right? A lot of it comes from hydrating properly. So I share a lot of these principles in that program. You can read the free version for sure. I also offer you a discount if you get the free version. So check that out. But anyways, you need to learn how to transmute your sexual energy. Otherwise, it'll be stuck down there. Otherwise, you will be plagued with sexual desire, okay? We're almost there, guys, 7 and 8. So number 7, understand that disciplining sexual desires equals the highest rewards and pleasures down the line. Now, if you haven't read any Napoleon Hill on the sexual transmutation chapter, if you haven't read anything about semen retention, sexual transmutation, then you want to go brush up on that, because you have to understand, if what we said about number 1 is true, the cheapest pleasures are the most expensive, then I want to say the most expensive disciplines are going to give you the best reward down the line, right? If you're willing to sacrifice instant gratification, if you're willing to discipline yourself in the short term, inevitably, right? The laws of duality, yin and yang, laws of polarity, you will inevitably experience the opposite down the line. If you're disciplining yourself now, temporarily putting yourself through pain, you will eventually experience pleasure down the line. Now, this is an immutable law, hermetic principle. It is so, okay? If you can discipline yourself in the short term, such as working out, feeling that burn within your muscle, you will reap the reward down the line. But if you flip this formula and you go for the cheap pleasure first, you will almost undoubtedly experience pain down the line. So do your best to seek and experience pain, not like self-inflicting, cutting yourself pain in the beginning, but discipline pain in the beginning so that you can receive the benefits down the line, right? That's usually my motivation when it comes down to working out. And in fact, once you become a master, I don't want to say I'm a master, but once you've spent enough time, like for me, it's been 10 years working out, you can find the pleasure within the pain in that very moment. Although it hurts in that very moment, I can almost experience the pleasure that I would feel down the line in that moment. And I do find a lot of pleasure while working out. So pain and pleasure while I'm working out is my zen, right? It's the yin and the yang for me. So that's why I love working out. And then finally, number 8, let's wrap things up. You need to find meaningful and purposeful work, okay? What do I mean by this? Most often men, as a man, myself, right? We turn to lower level desires. We turn to cheap pleasures. We turn to food, drugs, alcohol, pot, psychedelics, video games. We turn to lower level desires often because we don't have meaningful work to do, right? Men were designed to do things, right? Whether it be having sex with a girl, right? Or building something. We always want to do something to ground our energy. That's why video games are so enticing. That's why making art, building sculptures, building buildings, right? Creating something so that we can see our progress. All of that is very enticing. When we don't have meaningful and purposeful work to do, we often turn to lower level desires. We often turn to lower level behaviors, addictions, bad habits, jacking off, pornography as ways to stimulate ourselves because we just want to exert our masculine energy somehow. When you don't have something meaningful to do, you will turn to something much lower as a result, right? We will find ways to fill our void, to meet our need, right? If we don't have anything higher, we'll use a lower level behavior, a lower level need, right? We'll use as a way to meet our unfulfilled needs, we'll use lower level behaviors to meet that. What we need to do is find things that bring us fulfillment in life. We need to find our passion, our purpose, so that we can dedicate ourselves, so that we can give ourselves to a higher pleasure, a higher discipline, so that we aren't falling victim to these lower, baser level desires, okay? So guys, I know this was a long video, but I had to get it out and I had to be elaborate on how to stop ejaculating because men nowadays are becoming increasingly weak and impotent. And as a recovering weak and impotent male myself, I understand what it means. I understand how it feels to be weak and effeminate, right? There's a lot of inner bitch, inner beta tendencies that I have that I seek to eradicate, or at least to, not allow into my life or run my life that much. I want to become the best man that I can be. I want to become the strongest man that I can be. I want to become the best version of myself. And if I keep busting a nut, which I don't do anymore, it's not going to allow me to do that. And when you see that point, when you see that whatever you want in life, jacking off constantly is not going to get you to that point, you might rethink the next time you touch your dick, okay? So guys, if you enjoyed this video, instead of smashing your wiener, smash that like button, click that subscribe button, share the video so that it can help boost the algorithm, right? The more you like, comment, and subscribe on my channel, the more you can support me. If you don't want to get my program, that's fine. You can support me by liking the video, commenting, and subscribing. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. If you have any video requests, Again, drop them below, and yeah, let me know what you enjoyed the most, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.